Well, I'm, already cutting a little bit more than I can handle. I mean,
Oh, yeah?
yeah. You don't want to know nothing about it, though. I mean, just knowing's bad news.
Wouldn't have nothing to do with that rifle you got stowed in my trailer, would it?
I told you, boy, you don't want to know about it.
Yeah, that's right, I don't. But you got that thing stowed in my trailer. That violates my parole just as much as it does yours. And if you're just storing it there, that's one thing. But if you're planning to blow some poor sucker away with it, that's something...
Ain't no poor sucker, man. Just happens to be Alex Wheeler.
Texas, starring Beverly McKenzie.
He was my husband, and he helped raise Dennis. I feel sorry for him. He really has no one, nothing. He gave me his promise that he would leave in a few weeks. It's the least I can do to make up for what I've taken from him. Please, Alex, let him keep his job here in Houston for a while.
Terry, give me Alan Greenwood in Bangkok. You have his hotel room number.
Iris tells me how irrational, how you clung to Dennis as if he was some sort of absolution, as if he were going to justify what you had to do to survive in that camp. What was it, Elliot, that you had to do when you came back? What did you have to do?
That was another universe. It had its own laws. The men who lived there were aliens.
Those were men.
There's no point. It's beyond anything you can think or feel. You can't comprehend.
But Dennis can. I'm a man who gets answers from his questions. I think you'll be interested to know that I've just had news today from Bangkok, and there's a man in a Thai hospital they say was in your prison camp.
I don't believe you. What's his name?
I could just make a phone call. I could have him questioned. Or I could have him brought here.
No!
Oh. All right. Besides, I think that we both know what he would say. It's so...
All right, Terry, put him through. Yes, Alan, there is a change. No, stay there. Find your witness, and find out what L.A. Carrington did in Cambodia, all right? And I want you to get his full statement. That's right. Now, you hang on to him, and you sit tight. I want you to lose the man. Now, don't take any other action until you hear from me again. No, we're just going to be on hold for a while. I'll be in touch, all right? It's a mistake. I know it was a mistake. There's no place for a man like Carrington in my son's life. He doesn't know that. Yet. But making him know it is too much of a chance. Would break Iris's heart. No, not on our wedding day.
Don't give me any more back talk, Elena. You get yourself to school and don't be late.
Having a little tiff with your sister, huh? Now, how could anybody with Decker blood flowing through their veins be anything but sweet-tempered and easy to get along with?
Well, now that I think about it, that is surprising, huh?
Well, don't think about it too hard, honey. You may have to take a long, hard look how your little sister is just a chip off of her big brother.
That's where you're wrong. Now, I'm a lovable, peaceable, aim-to-please kind of guy. I even cleared that trail to the cabin just like you asked me to.
Gosh, I thought I'd have to ask a whole lot more before that ever got done.
Well, maybe because that's, you asked me so sweet. Yeah. Besides, I knew you were coming back from the big city. And I couldn't stand the thought of that, those mean old saplings getting in your way. Oh, by the way, how did you find Justin?
Out.
Wasted trip, huh?
I told you I was going to town on business, honey.
I told you. I figured it was Justin business.
Well, you figured wrong. You're looking at the newest member of the KBIK Board of Directors, and that's why I was in town.
My, board of directors. I always thought someone on the board of the directors would be at least twice your age and have just a mite more experience in the business world.
Well, don't worry about my lack of experience, honey. I know what I'm doing. As far as my age, though, you're right there. When that collection of gray-haired old ladies and pot-bellied gentlemen found out that my daddy had nominated me to take his place, well, Lord, I thought I'd have to revive him off of smelling salts.
Your daddy nominated you, huh? Yeah, that's about right. Anything little Rena wants. KBIK, your newest toy?
I'm not playing, honey. Besides, haven't you heard? KBIK is Vicky's toy. For me to get a hold of that, I'd have to get the board of directors to agree to take it away from her. And they need a mighty powerful reason for doing that. Of course, I don't imagine an upstanding group of people like the KBIK board of directors would want to have any public scandal brought down on KBIK.
Lord knows you'd never want to see any scandal, would you, Rena?
Oh, no. I'd do everything I could to prevent it. But you see, my mother does have this rather disgraceful drinking problem. Of course, we'd do everything we could to hush it up, but if it should happen to come out, well...
You're talking about your mother, girl.
Unfortunately.
You would do that to your own mother?
Oh, come on, Max. Don't come down on me again. I mean, the next thing you'll start out on Mom's apple pie. I gotta tell you that too much apple pie gives you an indigestion real bad. And all I need is a little bit of dear old Mom and I get a stomachache.
She's still your mother.
Was my mother. She made that choice 20 years ago. She walked right out on Stryker and me. Well, I think it's a little late for a mother and daughter act now. Well, what are you looking at? She left me. She never loved me. Why should I care about her?
Well, what about the fourth commandment? Honor thy mother and father.
Please.
If you don't honor them, you're doing dishonor to yourself. You come from them, Rena. They're part of you, your mother and your father. Whatever you do to them, you're doing to yourself.
Honey, if I thought that I was any part of my mother, I think I'd jump into the Houston ship channel. No, she deserves to get whatever she gets. She deserves to lose KBIK. Deserves to know what it feels like to be down and out. Queen Victoria deserves to fall down from her precious little throne.
Come in.
Kevin?
Courtney. Well, do I make you uncomfortable?
It's unsettling to be so close to what you want.
And yet so far.
Kevin, there's a great deal that I want that I can't have. But anyway, I'm really here on business. I came to tell you that Jeb Hampton is finishing up on his last test.
See, well, where is he now?
He's an X-ray.
Is that all? Is that all you wanted to tell him?
No. Kevin, I want to tell you that I want to be alone with you. Alone. I don't care what we promised my grandmother. I want to be alone with you, even if it's just for a moment.
Our reporters have been trying to nose in on this landlord arson thing for months now. You've only been in Houston a short time, and you've already got it.
I have ways.
We'll keep up the good work. You know, you've more than lived up to my expectations.
As a reporter.
Of course.
But you had some further expectations, hadn't you?
Oh, yes.
I'm sorry. Truly
No.
sorry.
Please, Elliot, there's no need for apologies. Or even regrets. It seems we can't change the course of true love.
Well, we can certainly try, but we don't always succeed. I understand the wedding is to be on Friday. A day that will live in infamy.
I wouldn't go quite that far. We'll all survive. I don't know how or why, but we will.
Excuse me. Carrington.
Mr. Carrington, this is Alex Wheeler's office.
Yes, just a moment, please.
Thank you, Elliot.
Thank you, Vicky. Yes.
Yes, Mr. Wheeler would like to see you. He's asked me to say that there are some new developments to discuss since your last conversation.
Very well.
Could you come to his office this afternoon at 3?
I'll be tied up here until around 6, and not in his office. That's an experience I don't care to repeat. I'll be at the top of the World Club bar for a drink around 6:30.
Just a minute, please. Alex, he won't come here. He wants to meet you in the club.
All right.
That'll be fine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Courtney, honey, I want to be alone with you, too.
Oh, don't tell me, Kevin. Not in words. Just...
Courtney, please. You know what feels right isn't always right. We made a promise. We're breaking that promise. That's wrong.
That promise wasn't made in blood, Kevin. We're free to choose any time we decide that it was a mistake to go along with her.
Courtney, please. Please, you must understand. Courtney, what we have is very strange to your grandmother. She wants to be sure that what we have is tried and true. She wants to be sure that that you don't get hurt.
Hurt? Being separated from you doesn't just hurt, Kevin. It's torture. I lie in bed at night, every night. I want you so bad I can't think straight. And you seem to care more about what my grandmother feels.
Oh, Courtney, I care about you. About us. About our life together. I really do. But Kate is right. Our life together includes people who care about us. We have to think about them.
All right. Let's think about other people. I'll go get Jeb.
Courtney, wait, please, Courtney.
What else is there to say?
This.
This is what I was trying to say, Kevin, but you
Yes,
said...
I know. I said we have to think about other people.
Nothing's happened in the last 10 seconds to change that.
I'm sorry, I'm not very good at keeping this kind of thing in perspective.
Still, you're right. You're right. About keeping our word. There's no such thing as a part-time honest person. Either you are or you aren't, and you are. That might make things seem difficult now. But the way you keep your word to Grandma Kate is the way that you'll always keep it to me. It's nice to know I can trust you completely. Now and later when we're married.
It's just that it's painful to wait, isn't it? Well, we won't have to wait too long.
We won't?
I heard from Rena's attorney. The divorce should be final by the end of December. We can get married right away. Of course, if that's what you want.
If that's what I want, Kevin, you're the master of understatement. The end of December, we can be married by New Year's. If that's what you want.
I want what you want. A very, very happy New Year.
Hey, Daddy.
Hi.
You lonesome, honey?
Now, listen, you know what I told you, baby. I'm a big boy now. A couple hours alone isn't gonna hurt me. Besides, I had plenty to do. I was reading, and I went for a walk out in the air, and I even had some company.
Mystery guest?
Well, I wouldn't say he was that mysterious. Really rather down to earth, come to think of it. He was a friend of yours, by the way.
Oh, and you're not going to tell me who?
A man named Max Decker.
Friend of mine? That's debatable. What did Max want?
Oh, nothing much.
Well, why did he come around then? He must have wanted something. He was here yesterday.
I reckon he wanted to see me. You know, Max and I go back a long ways. His daddy, Tom Decker, and I used to go hunting in the old days. Little Max would tag along with us.
That's all you talked about, huh? The old days?
You know, if I didn't know better, I would say that you were disappointed about that. Was there anything in particular that my little girl was hoping we talked about?
What do I care what you were talking about? I'm just surprised you were able to have a conversation with a man, that's all. He's such a pain in the neck.
Oh, I don't agree with you. I've always liked the boy, and I like the fine young man he's grown into even more.
Well, I find him cantankerous. I mean, he argues with me everything under the sun.
And, of course, you never argue back, or even start those arguments in the first place. Huh?
No, it was always Max Decker. He was always griping about one thing or another that wasn't any of his business. I mean, how I ride my horse, how I spend my time with my friend Just. I mean, even what I think of my own mother.
Vicky? I didn't even know he even knew her.
He doesn't. He was still heaping on all that honor thy mother hogwash anyway.
Well, if I know Max, he had called to. Now, what were you saying?
I told you, Daddy, nothing that was any of his business. I just started talking about the board of directors and how I thought that it wouldn't be such a bad idea if Mother were to lose KBIK.
Lose KBIK? What makes you think that she's going to lose KBIK?
Daddy, I didn't say she was going to. I just said that it probably would be a good idea for all the parties involved if she did.
What parties are those, if you don't mind my asking?
Well, honey, the stockholders, the board of directors, the viewing public, just to name a few.
I can think of one party that wouldn't be helped at all by that. Victoria Bellman. She's lost me, she's lost you, she's lost Alex Wheeler. KBIK is about all she's got left now.
Well, she's not going to have it for much longer, not if she keeps soaking up the booze like she was a thirsty sponge. Come on, Daddy. Come on. I've got better things to do than to be talking about my mother. I've got dinner to fix for my daddy, which is a whole lot more than she ever did for either one of us.
I swear. I ain't never tasted nothing like that before in my life. You really got a nice touch with this stuff.
Shoot, boy, I told you got a class act up here, didn't I?
Only I don't get it. If you're a partner, like you say, what are you doing working the bar?
I told you I was on my way to being a partner. It's a big difference, you know. I mean, if you're gonna get anywhere in this world, you gotta learn to pay attention, you know? Look for them fine details and the meaning of what people are trying to tell you.
Well, anyway, I know you got some kind of pull, because they wasn't even going to let me into this place until I mentioned your name.
Billy Joe Wright. 3 magic words that'll open doors to just about any establishment in this old town, buddy. Trust me.
Listen, Billy Joe Wright.
Oh, hello.
Hi.
You might find the doors to this establishment closing behind you permanently unless you cut the gab and get to work.
I don't let my customers want for nothing, Miss Marshall.
Far be it from me to impugn the work of one so dedicated. It's just that the top of the world is not the place to be entertaining your, guests. Junior, what is that?
Well, this here's a little specialty of mine. You know, I invented it myself. I call it the Hawaiian Delight of Billy Joe Wright. That's dark rum, light rum, coconut milk, and a splash of beer just to give a little fizz.
Oh, sounds delectable.
Ma'am, I have never tasted anything like it in my life.
Haha, not surprised. Listen, Junior. We don't want to deprive our other guests of your creative genius, now do we, huh?
No, that's fair.
Okay. Then I suggest you tell your friend here adieu and get your tail in motion.
Well, I guess I better hit the road. I don't want to get you in any kind of trouble.
Hey, man, stay here. That broad couldn't get me in any trouble. She's manager for now, but she's going to be out in her ear before she knows it.
That's too bad. She is one nice-looking lady.
Yeah, that's what I thought at first. On the outside, she's as ripe as a plum in August. But on the inside, it's sour grapes and lemons. Oh, hell, I don't need her. I got more broads up here than I know what to do with, you know? You know, rich ones. And their husbands are off busy all the time with them big oil deals. You know, all that sort of stuff. Yes, sir. What'll it be?
Scotch and water, please.
Sir.
Thank you.
Sir. Yes, sir, Bernie, I'll tell you. Every night it's, what are you doing after work, Billy Joe?
And then, how come you ain't living with some rich broad out in River Oaks by now instead of holding up with me in my trailer?
Well,
listen, Billy Joe. If you want more bras than you know what to do with, I got a deal for you. It just so happens that this deal will make us more bucks than we know what to do with, too.
Oh, yeah? You mean like getting paid for doing our little favors for the members of the opposite sex, huh?
Not exactly. When you got the time, I'll tell you about it. Little sideline I got worked up. If it wasn't for that stinking parole, I'd be doing it full-time instead of selling used tractors out in Sugar Land. If you want, I'll cut you in.
Well, I'm, already cutting a little bit more than I can handle. I mean,
Oh, yeah?
yeah. You don't want to know nothing about it, though. I mean, just knowing's bad news.
Wouldn't have nothing to do with that rifle you got stowed in my trailer, would it?
I told you, boy, you don't want to know about it.
Yeah, that's right, I don't. But you got that thing stowed in my trailer. That violates my parole just as much as it does yours. And if you're just storing it there, that's one thing. But if you're planning to blow some poor sucker away with it, that's something...
Ain't no poor sucker, man. It just happens to be Alex Wheeler.
Who's that? Is that guy you were talking about the other day?
Yipper. He just happens to be the richest man in Houston, maybe all of Texas.
Then you're a lot crazier than I thought you were, Billy Joe. And I want you and that rifle out of my trailer.
Man, listen, man, I ain't gonna kill anybody. Murray, I'm not gonna shoot anybody. It's just one of those, well, you know what I was telling you about. It's a fake assassination plot, you know? I mean, it's something that my boss thought up, you know? I don't know, I guess he knows what he's doing, you know?
That still sounds crazy to me, and you ought to get yourself out of it.
Man, I know it's crazy. I know it's crazy, man. I'm trying to get out, but I can't. That curse has got something on me, and he won't let me out. I'm like painted into a corner. I mean, if I do it, I go to Huntsville. And even if I don't do it, I go to Huntsville. Bernie, let me tell you something. The whole thing scares the hell out of me.
Kevin and I have consulted Jeb.
Oh, yeah? So what's it gonna be? The rack? Drawing and quartering?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, come on. I don't know how to turn him off. Jeb, you knew this was probably going to lead to surgery. Now, nobody's forcing you. You can live without it, but not as well.
What's the matter with the way I'm living?
Well, you're always talking about how you love to play and you love to fight, and you can do a lot more of both if you know your heart isn't going to give out on you.
But after surgery, we're going to exercise you to beg for mercy. Rebuild your strength up. Eventually, you'll be able to live a completely normal life. As though you'd never been ill at all.
Well, it's gonna take more than going under the knife to make me normal.
Jeb, be serious. Surely you realize we're recommending what we think is best for you.
I know that. I'm not sure.
You're not sure about what?
Going under the knife. I mean, it's not just something that you jump into. Will it work? What if it doesn't? Will I die? Does it matter if I die? It's a lot of questions there. I mean, a lot of questions. So you just, I don't know, maybe I'm better off without the answers.
Yes, it'll work. Yes, it matters, okay? Trust me. Just stop asking so many questions and prepare yourself to feel better than you've ever felt in your life.
Doctor's orders, huh? All right, let's do it then. What's the schedule?
How about I check you in tomorrow? I mean, there's no point in wasting time.
Right. Otherwise I would back out, huh? Well, we'll go back to the ranch now?
Yeah, just give me 1 minute.
Okay. Well, listen, Doc, I'm gonna put myself in your hands.
Well, good. I'll see you in the morning, Jeb.
Okay. Be outside.
Okay. Well, Doctor, you take good care of my cousin-in-law.
Courtney, I'd like you to assist me in this operation.
Kevin, the hospital.
Don't worry about the hospital. I'll take care of them. After all, Jeb is your patient, isn't he?
Well, Elliot Carrington. Unwinding from a hard day's work, I presume?
You presume correctly. And constantly, I'd calculate. Do you ever stop presuming, Paige, and calculating?
Well, a girl has got to stay on top of things, you know, Elliot. After all, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. I try to keep mine busy devising ways to help my fellow man.
And that's why you've taken it upon yourself to help my son.
Your son? Oh, of course. You must mean Dennis. Oh, yes. No, I feel a real closeness for him, Elliot. Dennis has a special potential. I consider it my mission to tap it, to help him make use of all his resources, as it were.
How comforting to know you've taken an interest in him.
Oh, no need to thank me, Elliot. I know you're very attached to Dennis and want only the best for him. You know, Elliot, men can be so cold and distant from one another. It's very touching to see two men like you and Dennis relating as friends.
As father and son.
Oh, of course. You're a man of the world and a very accomplished fellow. I'm sure that Dennis will always look up to you as a sort of father figure.
As his father.
I know exactly what you mean, Elliot. You're talking about that feeling that occurs when you get so close to someone that you feel you must surely be related to them by blood, even when you're not. I felt that for a few very special people whose paths I've crossed. Well, for example, Alex Wheeler, my boss. I presume you've met.
We've already established that you presume correctly, Paige.
Well, at any rate, Alex is a very strong father figure in my life. Even though he is my father, of course. Too bad he isn't. What a dandy daddy he'd make. Talk about resources. Why, his daughter or son would never go wanting for anything, Elliot. And Alex is so kind and good-natured. Well, just like Dennis, actually. Strange. Now that I think about it, Dennis reminds me a lot of Alex. In many ways. Oh, but Elliot, I digress.
I doubt that, Paige. You're never very far from the point.
Well, be that as it may, I don't want to keep you. I presume you're in something of a hurry to leave our fair city, all things considered.
You presume incorrectly this time, which may be a first for you. I have considered all things, down to the last detail. That's why I won't be leaving. In fact, that's why I'm here at this very moment.
I saw Iris while I was in Houston, Daddy. She's absolutely glowing. So happy for her.
You're still having trouble with that groom she picked for herself, don't you?
Well, there's no love lost between Alex Wheeler and me, that's for sure. And you know why better than anybody. But Iris is my best friend, and anything that makes her happy makes me happy.
So my little girl is growing up, huh?
No grudges, Daddy. I just hope that Alex makes her as happy as she thinks he's going to.
I still think I hear a butt in there someplace.
Can the wife of Alex Wheeler compete with that empire that he's built for himself?
Is it a contest?
Daddy, you know that there are two things that every woman wants. First, she wants a man just like Alex Wheeler who can give her the universe. And two, she wants to be the center of that universe.
Wrong on both counts. You know, it's so long since you and I have had a talk like this together, just the two of us by ourselves. I didn't realize how far off the track you'd strayed.
I think I'm in a better position to talk about what women want than you are.
Well, that's where you're wrong. I've known a couple of women in my time. I feel entitled to say what I think they might be concerned about. You know, a woman doesn't have to be the center of her man's life 24 hours a day.
I think that's exactly where she should be.
No, a woman doesn't want to own a man. You put that spoon down and come over on the couch. I want to talk to you a little bit. A woman doesn't want her man to be a toy soldier for her amusement, to march up and down to any tune she whistles.
Daddy, you told me 100 times that a man's love for his wife should be the center of his life.
And I say it again. But they don't have to be like Siamese twins. They carry their love for each other inside of wherever they go, but they don't have to go off together all the time. He's got his work and she's got hers. And they come together when the day's work's done.
Well, with Kevin, the day's work never ended. And I'm just afraid that that's what it's going to be like for Iris and Alex.
Now, look, we're not talking about Iris and Alex. I'm talking about you. We both know that Kevin wasn't the right man for you. But we also know that you had just a little bit to do with the problem of his working hours. You might even have had a hand in driving him to work the way he did.
And you keep reminding me.
Because I don't want you to forget for the next time. You don't want a man to feel he's your prisoner. Don't want him to feel that he can never be out of your sight. Now, that's one of your demands. What was the other one? Oh, yeah. All that tomfoolery about a man having to offer you the universe.
Money, Daddy. It's a fact of life. It gives you freedom. You can afford fun, the pleasures in life.
Yeah, but he doesn't have to be rolling in money, just so long as he does a good day's work and puts food on the table.
Well, as far as Iris is concerned, we don't have to worry about that because she's got Mr. Moneybags himself.
Now, will you please stop dragging Iris into the conversation all the time? I'm worried about you. What's going to happen if you go off with your head full of these tomfool notions? You're never going to find a man who's right for you.
Honey, the man in my life is going to have to do a little more than put food on the table. I mean, what's the good of meat and potatoes if there isn't a little spice? Home and hearth, that's just fine, but if I spend too much time at home, well, I start feeling that I'm missing something. I know that somewhere out there the music is playing. Somewhere out there the wine is flowing, and that's where I want to be. I don't have to tell you that. Hmm? You and me, we're like two peas in a pod.
Apples and oranges from the sound of
Oh, come on, Daddy. You know you like the goodies in life. You like great food, traveling.
No, listen to me. All of that flowing wine and glittery glamour carries a very high price tag if you're not careful.
Trying to get the good things in life? Well, what could that cost me?
A man who really loves you. Babies.
I found out something about that, Stryker.
What?
The stork really doesn't bring them. Rabbit stew.
What?
Oh, Daddy, honey, I want a family. I want to have a whole bunch of kids running around. I want those things. But it's like rabbits do. You have to catch the rabbit first.
But in order to do that, you gotta set that snare just right. Else you're likely to go hungry.
Somebody in here hungry? Hey, open up, Rena. You're being catered by Marshall Kitchens. Ooh. Oh, hope everybody's got a good appetite. That's right.
Well, Alex. Oh, how very good to see you. Well, I'm sure you two have lots to talk about. So, excuse me?
Mm-hmm. I've spoken with Iris.
Isn't it customary for a betrothed couple to be in rather close communication?
Dennis has decided to separate completely from his mother if you are persuaded to leave town. I figured you helped him arrive at that decision.
My son needed no help, Wheeler. I only relayed the gist of my last conversation with you. His decision was his own choice. A decision from the heart.
You leveled with him about the Cambodian incident?
The gist, Wheeler. Just the gist, not the gory details. The incident, as you so discreetly phrase it, is not a matter of record. It's your speculation, your fantasy, your wish, perhaps.
It hit a nerve, Carrington. No fantasy can do that. Only something very real. I told you I would understand exactly what really happened when you escaped from that.
From hell, Wheeler? You may well end up in hell when your time comes, but you haven't been there yet. I have. You come back and talk to me about understanding it when you've been there and lived to remember it.
Most of us have visited hell in one form or another, Carrington. I've been there in the past, but I plan a very different life for Iris and me and for Dennis. And I mean to have it. At any rate, Iris has asked me to give you some more time to pull your life together before you leave Houston. I've agreed.
How kind. Two saints. Now I truly understand what is meant by a match made in heaven.
You have until we return from our wedding trip. At least a month.
Very well.
I expect you'll be gone by then.
A month? Certainly. It won't even take that long.
Good.
It'll be sooner than you think. Much, much sooner than you think.
Join us each weekday at this time for the continuing story of Texas.